Hey guys, so we have what looks to be the Golden Week Dual Dokkan Fest announced on JP Dokkan. Now we know that this is probably like 98% going to come to global at the same time as well, because we had the global producer letter that teased a upcoming reveal for characters plural. And that will be revealed today on global, and of course on JP they had the daily reset at 4 a.m. Eastern time. And we have two Dokkan event previews here. One is obviously for Goku there, and then one is for First Form Cell at the bottom. So again, I'm like 98% sure. It's pretty safe to assume that this will come to global at the same time. We had Golden Week on global last year at the same time with the GT Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta. We should have the same thing here this year as well. So let's go ahead and just talk about quickly what this is saying, and I'm going to give my predictions as to what I believe this actually is. So on the top, we have Goku. He's saying, "It's your turn, Gohan." This is sort of when he gives up the fight against Cell, and he basically tells Gohan, like, "You're fighting Cell now. It's up to you." And then the bottom one is First Form Cell saying, like, you know, "I've been waiting for you, 17 and 18." So it looks like this is going to be a First Form Cell. Now, the interesting thing about both of these teasers is they're both new Dokkan events. Now, typically, in this day and age, I would argue that we don't really see a lot of new Dokkan events because we have so many characters in the game already that a lot of the times whenever they do these, they end up being new stages of already existing Dokkan events. So when we're seeing that both of these are new Dokkan events completely and not just new stages, that probably means that they don't fall into the same category as like any of the existing characters that we already have Dokkan events for. So for example, let me just skip ahead here. We already have this Dokkan event over here for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, right? I think it was, what, 250 million download celebration, where it was Super Saiyan AGL Gohan who transformed into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus the Perfect Form Cell who transformed into Perfect Cell. So we already have a Dokkan event for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, so the fact that they're not adding this into that already existing Dokkan event probably tells me that this is not going to be just an ordinary Gohan character. And then the same thing for Cell, right? The crazy thing about Cell is we only have one Dokkan event for Cell, but it has 4 stages. So they've continuously updated this whenever we've gotten a new Cell, but this one is a new event entirely. So that just tells me that this is probably going to start out as a First Form Cell. Like the TUR version of this character, when he's fully awakened, is probably going to start out as First Form Cell. And I can imagine it's probably going to be, you know, somehow going through Second Form and then Perfect Cell, and then, you know, Super Perfect Cell is probably the final one. But that's probably the reasoning behind why these are new events completely and not just stages added onto the already existing events. So when we take and that's, you know, the further evidence behind that is if we take a look at the actual text that it talks about here. This is the Goku one. This is the Cell one. I made a tweet basically translating this, so I'll just read it out loud here. So the Dokkan event teasers we have for the Goku one: the father and son's fight for the fate of the Earth. Challenge the power that gives birth to the bond between father and son. So that basically, it's really, I guess, playing up the Goku and Gohan sort of bond that they have with each other. So to me, that sort of indicates a, you know, either a dual character or an exchange unit. And then the Cell one is the android born from the cells of super warriors. Challenge the terrifying power that continuously evolves. So, continuously evolving, obviously, could mean a bunch of different things. The first thing that comes to mind is we've had, back in the day, this was like a really long time ago at this point, the transforming Goku and transforming Frieza, who got their easy eggs during the 350 million download celebration. And we also have the transforming Vegeta, who came out for Saiyan Day a few years ago. A lot of people have been asking, pretty much ever since Goku and Frieza got their first transforming units, because those are the first two that came out. Like they go through like pretty much every single form. People have been asking for a Cell version of like that kind of character. So I mean, this could be that, right? He starts as First Form Cell, and then he goes into Second Form Cell, and then he goes into Perfect Form Cell, and then he goes into Super. So he basically has 4 forms. Right, so if you have a character that's going to be going through 4 different transformations like that, it's going to be it's going to be difficult to jam that into like a traditional unit that's not one that just transforms every single turn. But what I could see this being is if they don't want to do that, because I think at this point, like a character that goes through every single form like that is not really conducive to like the difficult events in the game. And with JP Dokkan having the red zone available, and with it being as difficult as you guys probably know it to be at this point, having a character take that long to get to a form that's like super, super powerful, it might not be, you know, what you're really looking for to take on an event like that. But then again, there are some of the stages that take a while to ramp up in difficulty. Like I remember watching like the Shadow Dragon stage. It takes a long time. A lot of the enemies have a lot of HP, so maybe they do go with that, but I think a more middle ground take on Cell would be probably better in this day and age for Dokkan, right? Maybe he starts at first form, and there are certain conditions that you can fulfill to, like, you know, skip around or something like that. Because remember when we got transforming Super Buu, right? Transforming Super Buu, he transformed into one of 3 different forms, either Buu Piccolo, Buu Tanks, or Buuhan, depending on your HP when you got to whatever the turn was. I think it was turn 5. Then he would absorb the respective character, and then he would transform into that form, and that would be what he would be for the rest of the fight. We could see something similar, I think, with this Cell, but I'm not really sure how they're going to do this, right? Just because if he's starting at first form, maybe, you know what it could be? What if he starts at first form, and then his intro animation is him absorbing 17, and he technically starts at second form, but he would still be a first form Cell, like, technically, right? That could be interesting. Like, basically a turn 1 transformation into second form Cell, and then he would go into perfect form via a transformation somehow, either active skill or... I imagine at this point you're probably just going to be doing an active skill, not like a traditional transformation mechanic. But then he could have a double transformation into super perfect Cell, I guess, if they wanted to do that. But in terms of Gohan, like when I was thinking about what they could potentially be doing for that, I was basically thinking of this character right here. Now, this is a free-to-play character. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is a free-to-play character that we got during the time when this Dokkan event came out for the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. This is, again, I believe, hopefully I'm remembering correct, I think it was the 250 million download celebration is when this guy released back in August of 2019. So almost 3 years ago now. But this is the exchange free-to-play Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Gohan. So basically, it would start out as, you know, both of them together, sort of, and then you could exchange via their active skill into a Super Saiyan Gohan by himself. I am thinking that this is probably going to be similar to the unit that we see here, just because, again, it's really talking about the bond between Goku and Gohan, and not so much Gohan specifically, right? It's both of them together. And a lot of people, I remember even back when we had this guy released, a lot of people were like, oh, part 2 is going to be the Bye Guys Goku and the you know, instant transmission Goku with the instant transmission Kamehameha, because at this point we still don't have like a top tier version of that Goku that fought against Cell. In fact, I don't even think we have a single like version of that Goku. Do we have a Goku that fought Cell in this game? I don't think so. I don't think we do. Right, I think because we have the like the World Tournament reward buff, like Hyperbolic Time Chamber Super Saiyan Goku, but that Goku didn't fight Cell. He was just training to fight Cell. So this could actually potentially be like the first actual Goku that we have that legitimately fought against Cell, which is insane. But something I'm hoping that they do is some kind of really good instant transmission Kamehameha animation. That's definitely something that they could do. That people definitely want that, right? And then I could definitely see either the exchange being Goku just telling Gohan, like, I give up, it's your turn, go fight him. Or what they could do is the exchange into Gohan is Goku teleporting the enemy away, and that's it. Like, basically the Bye Guys animation. Now, the issue I have with the Bye Guys animation is it's not really... Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense in the context of you fighting a normal character. Like, if you're Goku and you're fighting, like, Frieza, for example, what are you going to instant transmission him away and then you exchange him to Gohan? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it only worked against Cell because Cell blew up and then he, you know, reincarnated himself right there on the battlefield. So, I don't know how much the Bye Guys make sense as an actual exchange animation. I think... they're probably going to have to find a way at some point to make that into something, right? My biggest fear is they turn that into a support memory, because that's such a waste, right? There's no audio. Like when they released the power level 530,000 support memory, that was so disappointing to me, because it's like Frieza's most iconic line, and it's not even voiced, and it doesn't even. It's like that needs to be part of a character's kit, in my opinion. And the same thing should be said about the Bye Guys animation for Goku. So, again, I don't know if it really makes a lot of sense for it to be the exchange animation, but what I'm probably thinking in my head for this character is it'll start out as a Super Saiyan Goku, and then he'll exchange into Gohan by, you know, the animation will be like basically what it looks like right here, right? This is like, you know, it's your turn, Gohan, like you're up. And then Gohan will enter, and then he'll be Super Saiyan, and then somehow I'm imagining he'll probably go into Super Saiyan 2, I think. But that's really what we have here. And then in terms of Cell, we really don't have a good first form Cell. I mean, this is really the best one we have. The Prime Battle version, who eventually will get an easy A, but if we take a look at the disambiguation, we'll go through like the first form cells. He's it. Like, this is it. That's the only good first form Cell that we have in the game here. So I think them sort of designing the Dokkan event to be around first form Cell, because again, even if he does transform into Super Saiyan 2 via his like entrance animation turn 1, technically he'll still be first form Cell when you use him on your team. So you could link him up with other second form cells if we get others in the future, even though we do have a good one already. The STR1's pretty good. But yeah, giving us a first form Cell that transforms, I think, is long overdue, so that's good. And the Goku and Gohan, I mean, people have been asking that for a long time, so I'm not really against that either. But let me know down below what you guys think about the announcements here. Again, on Global, we should be getting these announcements at some point today. And going off of the prior year, so when the Super Saiyan GT Goku and Vegeta released, I believe these guys will probably actually end up being in-game and summonable on the 28th. That's my guess, because that's the day that the units went live last year. And I think it's been pretty consistent over the course of the past few years for Golden Week. So the night of the 27th, the morning of the 28th is when they should come out. So that's Wednesday into Thursday. I'm pretty, I have no complaints about this release. I think this release is pretty good. Again, we have like 0 representation for this version of Goku from the Cell fight. So no complaints from me. Let me know down below what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.